The Twilight Motel stood at the edge of town, its neon sign flickering like a dying heartbeat. For years, it had been a forgotten relic, until Marcus Carter inherited it from his estranged uncle. The motel was a crumbling mess, but Marcus saw potential, or maybe he just saw a way to escape his own failures. As he began cleaning out the rooms, he stumbled upon a dusty, unmarked envelope tucked beneath the front desk. Inside was a letter, yellowed with age, addressed to someone named Eleanor. The handwriting was shaky, but the words were haunting. "I'm sorry I never said goodbye." Curiosity piqued, Marcus dug deeper. Room by room, he uncovered fragments of a story long buried. In room 6, he found a faded photograph of a young couple, their smiles frozen in time. In room 12, a child's toy car lay forgotten under the bed. Each object whispered secrets, revealing glimpses of lives intertwined with the motel's history. As Marcus pieced together the clues, he learned that Eleanor had been his uncle's first love, a woman he'd left behind when he fled town decades ago. The motel, once a place of dreams, had become a prison of regret. Marcus realized he was not just restoring a building, he was confronting a legacy of unresolved pain. The final piece of the puzzle came in the form of a diary hidden in the attic. Its pages told of Eleanor's unwavering hope that his uncle would return, of the nights she spent waiting in room 14, staring out at the empty road. She had died alone, her heart broken by silence. Marcus stood in that room, the weight of the past pressing down on him. He understood now that the motel was more than bricks and mortar. It was a testament to the cost of unspoken words. With a heavy heart, he decided to honor Eleanor's memory by turning the Twilight Motel into a place of healing, a sanctuary for those seeking closure. The neon sign flickered once more, but this time, it burned steady, a beacon of redemption in the twilight. The Twilight Motel had always been more than just a building. It was a living, breathing entity, its walls soaked in the stories of those who had passed through. Marcus couldn't shake the feeling that the motel was watching him, guiding him toward the truth. Every creak of the floorboards, every gust of wind through the broken windows felt like a whisper from the past. He spent his days repairing the roof and his nights poring over the diary, each entry a dagger to his heart. Eleanor's words were filled with a quiet desperation, a love that had been left to wither. Marcus wondered if his uncle had ever known the depth of her pain. The more he read, the more he realized that the motel's decay mirrored the decay of the relationships it had once housed. He found himself drawn to room 14, where Eleanor had spent her final days. The wallpaper was peeling, the bed frame rusted, but the view from the window was still breathtaking, a sweeping vista of the valley below. It was easy to imagine her sitting there, waiting for a man who would never come. Marcus felt a strange kinship with her, as if their lives were somehow intertwined across the decades. He began to see the motel not as a burden, but as a gift, a chance to right the wrongs of the past. The motel's guests had left behind more than just their belongings. They had left behind pieces of their souls. Marcus found a suitcase in the storage room, its contents carefully preserved, a wedding dress, a stack of letters, a pocket watch. Each item told a story of love and loss, of dreams deferred. He couldn't help but feel that these objects were meant to be found, that their owners had left them behind as a message to the future. The wedding dress, in particular, haunted him. It was elegant yet simple, the kind of dress a woman might wear if she were marrying the love of her life on a quiet afternoon. Had it been Eleanor's? Had she bought it in anticipation of a wedding that never happened? Marcus traced the delicate lace with his fingers, feeling the weight of her unfulfilled hopes. The pocket watch, too, held secrets. It was engraved with initials that didn't match any of the names in the diary. Who had it belonged to? And why had it been left behind? The more Marcus discovered, the more questions he had. But one thing was clear. The motel was a repository of unfinished business, a place where time had stood still. Marcus knew that if he wanted to move forward, he would have to confront the past head-on. He decided to track down the descendants of the motel's former guests, to return the items they had left behind. It was a daunting task, but he felt a responsibility to honor their memories. The first name on his list was Eleanor's. After weeks of searching, he found her granddaughter living in a nearby town. She was an elderly woman now, with kind eyes and a quiet strength. When Marcus handed her the diary, she wept. It was the first time she had ever seen her grandmother's handwriting. The reunion was bittersweet, but it gave Marcus hope. Perhaps the motel could be a place of reconciliation, a bridge between the past and the present. He continued his mission, returning each item to its rightful owner. With every reunion, the motel seemed to breathe a little easier, as if it were finally being released from its burden. The neon sign, once flickering and unreliable, now glowed steadily, a symbol of the motel's rebirth. Marcus had come to the Twilight Motel looking for an escape, but he had found something far more valuable, a purpose. He knew now that the motel was not just a building, but a living testament to the power of love and the importance of closure. And as he stood beneath the neon sign, watching the sun set over the valley, he felt a sense of peace he hadn't known in years. The Twilight Motel had given him a second chance, and he was determined to make the most of it. The motel's transformation was slow but steady. Marcus repaired the roof, repainted the walls, and replaced the broken windows. But more importantly, he filled the rooms with warmth and light, turning them into spaces where new memories could be made. He kept room 14 exactly as it was, a tribute to Eleanor and the love she had carried with her until the end. The other rooms he refurbished, each one named after a former guest. The wedding dress was displayed in a glass case in the lobby, a reminder of the fragility of love and the importance of cherishing every moment. The pocket watch was placed on the front desk, its hands forever frozen at the time of its owner's departure. Marcus often found himself staring at it, wondering about the man who had once carried it. The motel's guests began to return, drawn by the stories they had heard. Some came out of curiosity, others out of a need to connect with their own pasts. Marcus welcomed them all, offering a listening ear and a place to rest. The Twilight Motel had become more than just a business. It was a sanctuary, a place where people could come to heal. And as the years passed, Marcus realized that he had found his true calling. He had come to the motel to escape his failures, but in the end, he had discovered a life of meaning. The neon sign, now a beacon of hope, shone brightly against the night sky, a testament to the power of redemption. And Marcus, standing beneath it, knew that he had finally come home. The neon sign flickers weakly against the dusk. A lone T in Twilight Motel sputters like a dying heartbeat. Inside room 12, a man kneels beside a rusted bed frame, fingers brushing dust from a yellowed envelope hidden beneath the floorboards. The name on the letter is his own. This is where the past catches up. This is where regret becomes redemption. Welcome to the last guest at the Twilight Motel. Our story begins with a man who inherited more than just broken ceiling tiles and peeling wallpaper. He inherited a secret. And secrets, like motels, have a way of keeping their lights on long after everyone's gone. Segment 1, The Inheritance, midnight to 2:45. The motel wasn't supposed to be his. When Daniel Mercer got the call about his estranged uncle's passing, he expected nothing. Maybe a dusty old watch. Not a crumbling roadside relic on Highway 17. The lawyer's words echoed, "Asterisk, it's yours if you want it." Asterisk, the if was a joke. Who'd want this? But here he was, key in hand, stepping over cracked linoleum. The air smelled of mildew and something sharper, regret maybe. In the office, a ledger lay open. Names, dates, prices. The last entry was 1989. Room 12, $28.50. The ink was faded, but the name wasn't. Lena Mercer, his mother. She died when he was 6. Why was her name here? Segment 2. The first clue, 2:45 to 5:30. The mattress in room 12 sagged like a tired sigh. Daniel sat on its edge, running a hand through his hair. Something crunched under his boot. A cigarette butt. Not modern, old, unfiltered. Like the kind his uncle smoked in photos. Under the bed, a glint of metal. A lighter. Engraved, asterisk to J, always burning. L. Asterisk J for Joseph, his uncle. L for Lena? He pocketed it, then noticed the loose floorboard. The envelope beneath was brittle, the paper whispering as he unfolded it. Asterisk Daniel, if you're reading this, you found what I couldn't give you. The truth. Asterisk his mother's handwriting. Dated 3 days before her death. Segment 3. The unraveling, 5:30 to 8:15. The letter spoke of a fight. A terrible one. Joseph had accused Lena of stealing from the motel safe. She swore she hadn't. He wouldn't listen, she wrote. Asterisk I left at night. I should have stayed. Asterisk Daniel's hand shook. He remembered a car crash. An accident. But what if it wasn't? In the motel's attic, he found a locked box. The key? The lighter. Inside, newspaper clippings about the crash, a motel receipt for room 12, under a fake name, and a photo. Joseph and Lena, arms linked, smiling. Torn down the middle, then taped back together. Segment 4. The last guest, 8:15 to 11 o'clock. The receipt was dated the night Lena died. Room 12. Paid in cash. But the name? Robert Carter. Daniel Googled it. A retired cop. Alive. The drive to Carter's apartment took 3 hours. The old man's eyes widened at the lighter. Joseph gave that to her, he muttered. Then the truth spilled out. Joseph had called him that night, frantic. Lena was leaving. She took the money, he'd said. Carter found her car swerving on Highway 17. He flashed his lights. She panicked. The crash was quick. But the money was in her trunk, Carter said. Asterisk all of it. She wasn't stealing. She was leaving him. Asterisk segment 5. Redemption, 11 to 13:45. Back at the motel, Daniel sat in room 12. The pieces fit. Joseph had driven his sister away with accusations. The guilt kept him here, preserving the motel like a shrine. The last guest wasn't Robert Carter. It was Joseph, trapped in his own regret. Daniel took the lighter outside. The neon tea finally died. He sparked a flame. Not for destruction, for light. The letter had ended. Asterisk forgive him, Danny. He loved us both. Asterisk as the fire flickered, Daniel whispered, asterisk I do. Asterisk the Twilight Motel had one last guest. Forgiveness. And with that, the lights went out for good. The Twilight Motel stood at the edge of town, its neon sign flickering like a dying heartbeat. For years, it had been a forgotten relic, until Marcus Carter inherited it from his estranged uncle. The motel was a crumbling mess, but Marcus saw potential, or maybe he just saw a way to escape his own failures. As he began cleaning out the rooms, he stumbled upon a dusty, unmarked envelope tucked beneath the front desk. Inside was a letter, yellowed with age, addressed to someone named Eleanor. The handwriting was shaky, but the words were haunting. I'm sorry I never said goodbye. Curiosity piqued, Marcus dug deeper. Room by room, he uncovered fragments of a story long buried. In room 6, he found a faded photograph of a young couple, their smiles frozen in time. In room 12, a child's toy car lay forgotten under the bed. Each object whispered secrets, revealing glimpses of lives intertwined with the motel's history. As Marcus pieced